Not on my face, on my little tab.
Really?
You better be killing me, baby.
Fine, I will.
The hot dog?
Now there's on Cambridge, there's a new burger place called Gridlers.
What?
Gridlers. It's on Cambridge Street. It's a burger place. And they do good hot dogs and good burgers. We live around there.
Oh, so you can also go get Pearl hot dogs.
Pearl hot dogs.
They're kosher all week. Really tasty. Is there another one or is this one?
This is the last one.
Yep.
Oh.
Thanks everybody for your patience. Technical issues. So my name is Victor Chu. I'm the co-founder of mangamagazine.com. So let me just jump straight in since you guys have been waiting. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to solve the problem that we think traditional publishing is broken. Traditional publishers right now, they have their way of doing business, and they're just unable to tap into the digital market potential that we think that digital publishing has right now. And why is that? That's because they're stuck with their traditional print barriers. They have their distributors, their retailers, their printers. All of this is designed to be able to push large volumes of something that they select that they think you'll like and sell it to you. And what this does is it sets up a process that there's very few opportunities for new talent to succeed. So for the entrepreneurs out there, if you think it's hard getting VC money, try to get a book deal. It makes VC money seem like a walk in the park. And to add on to that, that makes it really difficult for new and innovative content to come out. So what you get is, nothing against Batman, I'm a huge fan of them, lots of Batman. You get lots and lots of the same thing, with slight tweaks, because it's safer. It's easier to do that, it's easier to keep your job, it's easier to know that somebody's going to watch it, somebody's going to do it, and you're going to get very little of this. Sorry, it's my favorite movie, some of you may disagree, but this was a random find, essentially. This was a comic that got really popular really quickly, and they got a movie deal. But you get very few of these type of opportunities. So what are we trying to do? So Manga Magazine is a graphic novel community, actually, that we built. And it's built on top of a crowdsourcing content platform that we've built that we think will change the publishing industry. And how do we do that? We help writers and artists gain traction and build a fan base. So it's easy for them to come on our site, upload their content, and have access to our user base. And from there, they can monetize their content. So as they get more popular, people say, hey, I'd like to buy your books, I'd like to buy your t-shirts. We make that all easy for them, and we cut out the middleman. So we consolidate all the orders, we consolidate all the processes. We tell our artists, you focus on your art, or your writing, and we'll help you make money, essentially. So let me jump into our site quickly. And bear with me, this is not my laptop. Kidding. Come on. There you go. All right, so this is the front page of our site. What we do to help our users actually enjoy our site and help our artists is that we help crowd curate our content in a way. So what you see here is actually any user can come onto our site and upload their content. So you can draw a stick drawing and upload it. I mean, XKCD makes plenty of money off of that. But the idea is that as you upload your content, people start looking at it, people start becoming fans, people start liking it, and we use our analytics platform and our metrics that we define to look at who's building traction, who's getting interest. If you get 1,000 people look at your comic, and how many of them actually come back and read the second page, the third page, the next chapter? How many people are still reading your content a month later? This is what we use to help determine and bubble up the great content to the top. So as you see, we have 3 tiers, and as people move up the tiers, the idea is that we provide them more support. We provide them more incentives. So as you climb up, we help you upload your content on Amazon. We help you sell t-shirts. You can see a test we're actually running right now. We help you get more promotion, get more interest in your content. And the idea is that we share in the profits and we share in the success of the artists that we promote. We think that this is a sort of a nice relationship that we can strike with our artists because they feel that we have a stake in their success. So just to quickly show you how we make it easy for our artists. So these are just some of the artists that we have on our site. So Drake here is actually one of the people who've been with us for a little while. And what we try to do on our site is to make it a very social experience. So the idea is that you find Drake, you like his comics or you like his content, and similar to Facebook Like, we have an add to favorites. The idea is that you become a fan, and we keep you notified on when he updates his content, when he submits new drawings, when he tweets, whatever it is. Our thought is similar to Oprah. You like Oprah's show, maybe you like her books, maybe you like her food. Similar for Drake. If you like Drake, maybe you like what he reads, what he sells, what he likes to do, what he likes to draw. Very similar idea. And to make it a very community-oriented setup, what we do is we allow commenting throughout the site. The idea is that wherever you can go on the site, you can comment. You can interact with your favorite artists, so you feel like you have pretty much a stake in the artist that you're using. So what we do is we integrate it so that our artists can have their own blog, they can upload their own content. I'm trying to flip this, it's not being friendly. Okay, let me just do this, it's a little faster. All right, sorry for the technical issues, but what I'm trying to do is click on the comics and manga, and the idea is that, there you go. You can see the content that he's uploading. So that's it for our amount of time, so I'll open the floor for questions, but the idea is easy to upload content, and the goal is to help monetize all the content that comes out. Oh, sure, great question. So we launched in January. This is our first site. We launched in January, started off with essentially 0. We now have about 100,000 uniques coming to our site with about, I don't want to give you the wrong numbers, but let's just say more than 20,000 registered users. And we don't even require users to register to sign up. We don't any of the content on our site. Yes, sir.
So what is your business model?
Sure. So I alluded to it a little bit, but it's great that you asked. So what we tell our artists is 50-50 profit share. So if you sell something on our site, whatever profit it is, we take half, you take the other half. And what we're trying to do is make it simple for them to be able to upload content. Let's say a t-shirt drawing. We upload a drawing, and then we help them we help them print the t-shirt, we help them ship the t-shirt, and then we sell the t-shirt. And what we do is, you saw the tiers that I had shown in the first page. The idea is as they get to the top artists, we sign exclusive distribution licensing agreements with them, so that they feel like we're committed to them, and they're also committed to us.
So you actually arrange for printing t-shirts?
Yes, we do. So there are a lot of great sites who focus on doing, high mix, low volume t-shirt printing, high mix, low volume book printing. We integrate all that for them through our backend so that they don't have to worry about it. They have the ability to do it, but it's not as cost effective, it's a pain in the neck for them. It's the same thing for t-shirts. I mean, there are plenty of t-shirt vendors just in Boston alone, but if they can just upload an image and we take care of the rest, it's a lot simpler for them, and they can focus on their content instead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and maybe you covered this, and I was focusing on something else when you said it, but is it just finished product graphic novels that you work with, or do you actually build a community where somebody is a writer, somebody's a colorist, somebody's a paper? Do you combine artists and wordsmiths together?
And I just realized I should probably repeat the question. The question is, do we just do finished goods, so if somebody finished the whole series, or do we work with people who are in progress? So the answer is
matching people.
Or matching people, yeah. So let me break it out, because it's a couple parts. So it's great if somebody has a finished series and uploads it to our site. We've had people suddenly get on and upload hundreds of pages, but we're agnostic to that. Our perspective is, if you have great content and you build a following, just imagine Harry Potter, right? If you read the first chapter and you said it was amazing, and 100,000 people said it was amazing, you'll be encouraged to keep running it. So our perspective is, as long as you have the great content, we don't really care if you upload all of it at once or you start. And what we've seen is most of our users actually come on is, they have a little bit going, it's not difficult to draw one chapter, for example. And they're using us almost like a Kickstarter style, or a little bit before that, where they come in, upload content, see what people like. If it's terrible, they start something new. If it's great, or let's say they think, oh, the main character should be a girl, it fits the story better. They make adjustments. And then in terms of matching, we started that a little bit. With comics is the best example. You've got the person who can draw, and you've got the person that can write. So we started some informal sort of setup for that, but we're trying to figure out from an overall business model, does this expand into other areas? Like for when you write a book, you don't do much drawing, but you might need more editors, you might need more people to do it, punctuation checks. So to be honest, we're still new at this, and that part we're still trying to figure out. But we definitely acknowledge there's a huge demand there for collaboration.
Question here?
Oh, you answered that. Thanks.
Sure.
So are you looking, certainly the model itself seems to be very well thought out. And, how have you looked at in terms of using the same kind of model, applying it to other kind of niche content?
It's a great question. I mean, this is what we think about every day, because our goal is, as large as the comic market may be, we don't see us just focusing on this one industry. I mean, and I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but I'll get back to your question really quickly. Harry Potter was rejected 12 times by publishers. Twilight was rejected 14 times by publishers. We're trying to avoid this, because it just doesn't make any sense when great content's coming in that's not getting accepted. So we see there's certain genres that have much stronger communities. So we have a very strong community for comics. We've had people volunteer to do translation, help us managing. One funny joke that I always tell is we were going to implement a maturity filter, but then we realized that so many people volunteered and sent us emails about it, we just didn't implement it, just checked our email instead. So we'll get to that soon, but for now we just stick to our community and people helping us out. But in the long term, we're looking at one very popular area, teen fiction. Another area is fantasy. These all have very strong user bases or reader bases, and that's what we'd like to go into. Now, is that going to be what we'll be going into? We're still working on this site, but that's some of the ideas. And if you have any other ideas, definitely let us know. Yes, this guy.
So you've since January. And,
yes, January.
My question is, how did you build this community, which you have 100,000 uniques, and where do you see yourself going forward?
Sure. So the question is, how do we build our community, and where do we see ourselves going forward? So in terms of how we built it, a lot of this was viral. So we set up a Facebook page, set up Twitter, and then we pretty much bombarded all the forums that we thought were relevant. Our model's a little bit different because we're bringing in the content publishers, and each content publisher that comes into our site has their own existing user base. So it's not like where you have an app and each user requires an acquisition strategy to focus on one user. We've had cases where we brought in one person and they brought in thousands of users at once. So from our perspective, we've been very focused on the content side, showing our artists, our writers that we have a great community, we're very helpful, and then from there, they spread the word out to bring people in. And then where do we go from here? We really want to build out this site first, this community, figure out how we're going to make money, how we're going to expand this particular platform, and from there, leverage it into other genres, which we just talked about. Sure.
Last question.
How do you feel about the actual print distribution?
Sure. How do we feel? So, we've already found a few vendors that we've been working with for a little while. We've been doing a lot of print tests, and there are quite a few print companies out there actually that like to do one-off, two-off. They like to do high volume or high mix, low volume style business where they drop ship the orders. So we've been working on the back end side to help simplify this logistics portion for our artists so that we can automatically push content, push orders to these people to drop ship them. It's something we're figuring out. We have the more manual process already figured out, email, that definitely works, but we want to be able to set it up so that we can expand this to all our users. And, at least our belief is that there's enough vendors out there who are interested in taking our orders of one at a time, two at a time, as long as the price is right. And based on our tests, users are interested in taking this.
All right, thank you, Victor.